It is true that Gino may have to pay for the ethical, non-monogamous fruits of the labor of Jasmine, which is just her laying on her back because she had to have it her way, had to have another person in the marriage, and she got it. She backed Gino into a corner. She got the support of a non-therapist who is masquerading around as such and talked about how it's great for her while it's not great for her, while letting Jasmine latch onto that. We all remember how it went. It was ridiculous at its face, and Gino was a sniveling coward to even consider it and say, I must have this happen. But now he may actually be financially liable. It's insane. It's crazy. He shouldn't have to, but he also deserves everything he gets because of how he's acted this whole time and not just cutting off. And he was not innocent in it. Let's be real. He was not innocent. But now the father of the child may not even be the one that has to pay child support. But let's see what they're saying about that. This comes from In Touch Weekly. And when they're talking about the 90-day fiancé, I know one of the major questions has been how it goes after the fact. Because we all know that a lot of these couples end up getting divorced anyway. So what happens then? Are they still responsible? Do they still have to be there? All of these things. But this adds another layer because there's a child involved. In this case, one of the lawyers said whether a person is liable for child support basically ruled by the state. So that doesn't tell us much. But the reality is that there are several states out there where he could actually have to pay the child support because not only is he still married to her, but he was the sponsor of the K-1 visa. There are states when the person is married, there's a presumption that the child belongs to the married couple, and yes, they are both responsible for the child, even if a DNA comes back negative. So even though we know it's not his child, because they've all said it, even if they did a DNA test, he may still be liable to pay for the child. Another lawyer even gave more insight saying Gino is still legally responsible because Jasmine is still married to him, and because he is the sponsor of her K-1 visa, which is considered to be the father of the child, regardless of paternity under Michigan law. So this lawyer actually goes into more detail talking about the Michigan law where he lives, saying that if child support came into effect, then he would actually have to pay because he's the sponsor of the K-1 visa, and he's the one that was actually married to her and still is by all accounts. Now, one of the issues is that once they're married, they're supposed to be changing their status so they get the green card. That's the other question. Did they actually do that? Because if they got separated and happened before and they didn't change that status, there may be a problem. But if they already started that process, which knowing Jasmine, who is the gold digger and trying to get, every possible opportunity she can, case in point, meeting Gino on the Sugar Daddy website, which, by the way, I don't care, and this is why I don't care about Gino and his poor feelings and all that crap, because he did this to himself. Either way, it doesn't change the fact that she is about to rake him over the coals even more just to get every bit of money, because clearly, after everything, she doesn't give a damn about being with Matt. She never did. She was just trying to have a good time and relive her 20s, I guess, which it was ridiculous the whole time. The reality for Gino is that he may have a long, horrible legal trouble ahead, and he's already trying to mess around with someone who looks like Jasmine, supposedly. He's been spotted filming for the new 90-Day Single Life or whatever, and allegedly the person he's been filming with is a Jasmine lookalike. Clearly, he never learns. Now, what does that mean? Do they have some features or whatever? I haven't seen the picture, so I can't say. But if it's the same kind of Jasmine situation where they can't stop getting surgeries, they look fake as hell, nothing about them looks real, and they go so far to use their wedding dress money to get butt implants put in backwards on some crazy aftermarket back alley butt implant person in Panama, but I digress, then it's probably going to be the same situation and Gino's still an idiot and he never learns. Also, slight addiction to, let's just say some videos that are not of the, that are of the adult nature. Let's just go that route. So clearly he's got some issues. What'll happen with them? I don't know. We'll see. But they keep popping in the news, so whether that's because they're just trying to remain relevant, which is very possible, or they're just idiots that can't get it together, that is to be seen. And also, Jasmine clearly had no interest in pursuing anything with Matt, as referenced in several articles, but buried deep in an article that was not even about that, but she said this tidbit. which was shared by a clip on April 18th. Clearly, it's been floating around for a little bit of time now. Obviously, it doesn't shock anyone, but she said, after the open marriage didn't work, Matt and I became friends with benefits, and now we are co-parenting our daughter, and that's it. Friends with benefits, what were you the whole time? So this is what happened. Basically, Jasmine told Gino that if they catch feelings, that it would cease to exist. Oh, not only did they not catch feelings, but this was the plan all along. It had nothing to do with feelings. She was just trying to scratch an itch. Sure, Gino didn't give her what she needed. I get that part. He was wrong for that, for not even attempting and making up stupid excuses like, well, Jasmine, I got to really feel a connection. Now let me go watch some of these intimate videos because I feel a connection there. That's how it works out for Gino. So it was stupid, and he was an idiot for that. But Jasmine decided to be manipulative because she wanted what she wanted. I venture to say that no matter what would have happened with Gino, had they been sleeping together, it didn't matter. She would have still cheated on him because she would have wanted what she wanted. That would have never changed. And here we are. She slept with Matt. Not only did they get pregnant, but now it's just, but it's just friends with benefits anyway. That's what she wanted. She wanted to have fun. She wanted to sleep with who she wanted, and they didn't wear protection and she got pregnant. That's what happened. Or maybe she did it on purpose. Who knows? I wouldn't put it past her because the lady is manipulative. The lady has got a streak in her, and she does not care. She'll cry on cue, a very, very ugly cry, to try to get what she wants. So let's not pretend that she isn't the manipulative person that she is. But I don't feel bad for Matt, and I don't feel bad for Gino. No one's really innocent in this. It's just a bunch of bad people doing bad things, which is crazy. But then you have people writing articles saying they don't understand why she's getting hate from the open marriage thing. This person who writes for Collider says that Jasmine and Gino are consenting adults, and they agreed to an open marriage. Well, let's break that down. Gino consented to an open marriage after basically getting an ultimatum and saying, no, we need to do this or I'm going to leave you. Basically, leaving him very little choice. Now, he could have walked away, and I argued he absolutely should have, but when you're not actually bringing up the manipulation that came with Jasmine in this, and then when he said, okay, fine, but I don't want it to be Matt because you already have a connection, which, okay, if you're stupid enough to do some sort of crazy, non-monogamous, ethical non-monogamy BS, then yeah, if someone already's got a connection, maybe you're thinking, I don't want that person, but no, it had to be that person. Red flags everywhere. But you are correct, writer of this article. They are consenting adults. You're right about that. But let's bring up the manipulation that Jasmine does every step of the way. When she's backed into a corner, when she doesn't have anywhere else to go, you know what she does? She cries and says she's being attacked. That's what she does. She did it at the reunion. She does it all throughout the show. She cries, but magically no tears come out. So, there's that also. So let's at least put out that she's not a good person. Sure, they can do it, but people can do a lot of things. People can look at a lot of things. People can go do various things. Someone can go drink themselves stupid, but it's a dumb thing to do, and most people are going to say, you're a stupid person for it. So there's that. But yes, consenting adults, true. Then she says Jasmine didn't go behind anyone's back to the best of our knowledge. Oh, talking to the therapist, finding out that this therapist is an ally, if you will, and has her own open marriage that she basically admitted has communication issues, even though she's not a real therapist. And, talking about all this, getting her in your corner, that's not going behind anyone's back? No, you're right, she did come and talk to Gino, but then she used the manipulation tactics and the people in her corner to back up these claims. So, no, it's not exactly going behind the back, but it kinda is still. So again, shady, slimy, manipulative behavior. Then it says Gino established his boundaries such as using protection and disclosing locations. Okay, why did no one have a problem with that? How about the fact that she didn't disclose her locations and they clearly didn't use protection? But you don't know how anyone has a problem with this crazy lady who clearly is just out for money and fame and whatever else she's trying to draw off of from the 90-day universe, leaving her kids behind and all that. Yeah, but let's say they're consenting adults and great. So you know what? Article person, yes, they are consenting adults. You are correct. However, they are bad. They are not good people. They are doing bad things, and people can call them out for it, and we should not condone any of that. So we watch this crazy stuff, but you know what? We call them out for it because it's ridiculous on its face. But sure, they're consenting adults. Thank you for joining me. Make sure you join me anytime we break down some of these news shows because guess what? They're always looking for attention, so we're always gonna see more of it. I appreciate y'all. I will see y'all next time.